Welcome to today's live. We are answering the question whether or not Decker is the right fit for you for your next truck driving position. So if you have questions about Decker Truck Line, what we have available and all that good stuff, benefits, equipment, the whole thing, then you are in the right place. My name is Jessie here with Decker Truck Line. If you have questions that you want to speak to a recruiter directly about, the number is right here. 877-433-2537. Otherwise, ask me. Ask me. Let me know where you live, what kind of position you're looking for, and we can give you more details on what we have out of there, what the running lanes are, what the rate of pay is, of course, based on your experience level. So I'm going to need a little bit of information from you, like where you live or your zip code, city, or state. Put it in the comments or the chat. And also how much experience you have. And then I can be a little more specific on what we've got. So welcome. We're talking real pay, real miles, real Decker Truck Line. So feel free to ask away. All right. In the chat, it's slowly but surely coming together there for me. A little delay, but we got you, right? Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit before we dive too deep into the specific positions based off of who's here. Let's just talk in general what qualifies you for Decker, and then we'll talk about some of the different positions, and then more specifically what qualifies you for those different driving positions. As far as the basic qualifications here at Decker, we do require a minimum of 6 months of tractor-trailer experience, preferably over the road. Now, if you're looking to get into flatbed, we do want flatbed experience, especially if you're over the road. So if you're running out of our Bessemer, Alabama terminal, then yeah, we want 6 months minimum of flatbed experience. But if you don't have it, but yet you have a year of over-the-road tractor-trailer experience, we can train you. We can get you trained for the flatbed. If you live more in the Midwest, we do offer more training. But again, we do want you to have at least 6 months of experience of tractor-trailer experience. Whether it's refrigerated or flatbed, again, we can train you in our tarping and securement methods. So as far as our refrigerated positions go, again, 6 months of tractor-trailer experience is ideal as a minimum. And then, of course, we have additional qualifications based off of the individual positions, especially for those who have, or for those positions that have sign-on bonuses. Some of our sign-on bonuses require a two years of experience, tractor-trailer experience, versus the 6 months. So I'll get into the specifics on those here in just a minute. As far as additional requirements, no major moving violations within the last 3 years, so no DOT recordable accidents or following too close, erratic lane change, improper lane change. What's another one that's no 15 over tickets, no cellular devices, nothing like that within the last 3 years. Those would automatically disqualify you if you had one. We can work with a ticket if you've had one in the last 3 years, as long as it's not a major moving violation. For instance, if you had a 5 over ticket versus, like I said, the 15 over ticket. So a little difference. Not a little, but definitely a difference there in whether or not we can move forward within the 3 year period. If you have 2 of those tickets, as long as they're not considered major moving violations, we can work with them as long as there's no more than 2 in the last 3 years. So there you go. Well, hello, happy Tuesday to you, Riley. We go live every Tuesday at noon Central. Riley, I love that you hop on and say hi each week. Thank you. Making my day. Thank you so much. Okay. So other qualifications. If you have, I guess one question that I get often is, do you have to have hazmat? Do you have, what I've got a tinker endorsement. Do I have to have any doubles or triples, things like that? We do run hazmat every once in a while, but it is definitely not a requirement. We don't run it often enough to require it. As far as different positions that we have, currently refrigerated and flatbed, so no tanker endorsement is required. if you have what do I want to say? A valid Class A CDL, that's not what I was going to say, but a valid Class A CDL, and you've got the experience, that should be good as far as identification. Yeah. Sean, hello! Another face I love to see on here. Face, name. Awesome. Thanks, bud. I appreciate you being here as well. So yeah, those are the basic qualifications. At least at least 21 years of age in order to qualify as well. So those are the basics. As far as a type of equipment that we have, most of our trucks are the 579 Peterbilts. Now we do have some 589 Peterbilts, and we have a few 389 Peterbilts. Do you want to specify that those 389s usually go to our veteran drivers who've been here 15 plus years, and so they get to spec their trucks just a little bit. The 589s, those are our newest model that we have. Again, we have newer model equipment, I think 21 and newer right now. Excuse me. 21 and newer right now is what we currently have. So also a few Volvos, 860 on the refrigerated side, 780s as well. And then on the flatbed side, we have some 740s. We have mostly Pete's. So I don't want to lead you astray thinking that, hey, you've got 90% getting another type of truck. Nope. Over 95% of our trucks are Peterbilts. They are very well-maintained, great trucks with tons of amenities, but our Volvos and our Freightliners, we also have a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions, they also are fully equipped. So when I say that, I mean we have refrigerators. First of all, APU unit, inverters, refrigerators, microwaves, CB units. We have a 22-inch television, which comes with Epic View streaming and free Wi-Fi through that. That's all paid through by Decker. We have we do have radio equipped equipment. So if you're someone who has maybe a Sirius radio subscription or Sirius subscription, that would work. All the equipment is there. You just have to hold a subscription. So that's definitely different than the TV because Decker holds the subscription for the Epic View, which is DirecTV. It's 100 plus channels, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime. 100 plus channels. So there you go. And if you have a subscription to, say, Hulu or Netflix or Paramount, something like that, then it is a smart TV, so you can get those signed in as well. It's super smart. Just kidding. I had to, I know. Okay. Anyways, I tell you what. Our trucks are double bunk, so you do have extra room. If you have a rider, we do allow riders 10 and up, and it's $25 a month for them to ride. As far as pets, we do allow a dog, no more than 85 pounds. If you have 2 dogs, we allow that as long as they're not more than 65 pounds combined. So my ginormous dogs would not fit. We have Anatolian Shepherds and Pyrenees mix, which I love, but they're a year old and they're at least 100 pounds, I swear. Anyways, as long as they're non-aggressive breeds and they meet the weight requirement, you should be good. We'll take a picture or have you send in a picture and have you send in their vet records, and that should do the trick. It's $500 deposit for the pet policy. And you know what? We also have, speaking of pets, we have walkie designated areas at the terminals for the pets. Of course, keep them on a leash. Not everybody is dog friendly. Some people are allergic. We got to be able to respect that, please. But we do love to see them. So if you get the opportunity and you're walking, keep them on the leash. If you aren't, if you're running to the restroom or whatever, they need to be kenneled. In Fort Dodge, we have a dog washing station. So if Fido is stinking up the truck, there you go, you can wash them. As you come in, maybe you're coming in to get a truck wash itself. You wash the pet, you wash the dog as well. All right. But truly, there is a dog washing station in Fort Dodge. All right. As far as additional amenities, at the different terminals, of course, we have additional amenities. But as far as truck amenities, I think I pretty much covered them. We do have solar panels on the trucks. You might notice those. That is to extend the life of the APU unit, the starter and everything on that. So they are diesel powered APUs, of course, but it extends the life of them. I mentioned microwave. I think I hit on all of them. We've got, of course, the bunk heaters. I think I hit on most of the amenities, so we're good that way. As far as amenities at the different locations, the different terminals, Fort Dodge, Iowa is our main terminal. We have the full shop, body shop, inspection bay. We've got our wash bay, of course. Now, if it is full, if it is being used, and there isn't somebody currently free or available at the time to wash the truck, we do have the do-it-yourself wash bay as well. So you have that option. And then, of course, we've got the trailer shop and truck shop. Speaking of trailer shop and truck shop, there we go. Welcome Center. I do want to make note that with Memorial Day coming up, obviously we are recognizing Memorial Day on Monday, so it will affect the hours of service of being open in Fort Dodge. So let me actually pull that up, because off the top of my head, do you think I know it? Let's see. Most of them, it's not going to be a big difference because it's obviously on Monday, so that not a big difference on the closing side is what I'm getting at. So the Fort Dodge truck shop and the trailer shop, those will both close at 12 p.m. on Saturday, the 24th. They'll open back up on 7 a.m. on May 27th, which is Tuesday. So everything will be back open, moving and shaking and, working on this at 7 a.m. on May 27th, which is Tuesday. I'll get it, at 7 a.m. So it'll all be open back up. So it'll basically be closed for Monday, but Fort Dodge Truck and Trailer Shop, like I said, those will be closed at 12 p.m. on Saturday, the 24th of May. The inspection bay and the wash bay in Fort Dodge will be closed at 11:30 p.m. on Friday, the 23rd. So they'll close then. Again, all opening up at 7 a.m. on Tuesday. The prep shop, the body shop, those will close at 3:30 on Friday, the 23rd. The decal shop, that'll stay open till 5 p.m. on Friday, so normal hours there. Again, opening back up at 7 a.m. on Tuesday, 27th. And as far as different terminals, Des Moines, Hammond, Minneapolis, all shutting down at 4:30 on Friday. And Bessemer will stay open until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Again, all opening up at 7 a.m. So there you have it. Those are the hours. I had to grab that. Ty says, "Hey Ty, how are you?" He didn't say that. I said that. But he asks, how long is the training process? I am going to answer training process, and I'm going to answer orientation, because I'm not positive which one you're truly asking. As far as going out with a trainer, if you qualify, meaning you're a recent graduate of an approved school, it's usually for the refrigerated division. I don't currently have a training opportunity for flatbed. If that's the case, then you'd be out with a trainer for 2 to 3 weeks. So 2 to 3 weeks, we pay you basically $100 a day while you're with a trainer, and then you'll start running solo. Now, as far as flatbed training, like you have tractor trailer experience, but you're maybe going into flatbed, and so you need tarping and securement training, that's usually over a couple of days. You'll have the orientation, and then followed by a day and a half of the tarp and securement training. Okay, and that'll be hands-on. You'll have the actual walking you through the process of the different type of tarping and securements, and there are several. And then you'll have the hands-on, of course, and then we do have videos to refer back to as well for the training process to basically reinforce and help you prepare for it and to help you remind. So you have access on both sides. You can actually find those on our YouTube channel, and you'll also have access to that on our TransFlow app or your ELD as well. As far as, so let's see. Oh, orientation, in case that's what you meant by training. The orientation process is 3 days long, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then now, that being said, next week, it's going to start on Tuesday. So you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you'll probably be dispatched out a Thursday night or Friday morning. Normally, you're dispatched out either Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Now, you get paid $500 for completing orientation, and then you do have the minimum pay safety net, but everything that you get in by Tuesday night, you get paid Friday for. So the week of orientation, you'll get your $500 of orientation pay on Friday. So that's how that works, in case you were wondering. As far as what orientation entails, you do have our pre-orientation, which is an online orientation that you'll receive before you even get here in Fort Dodge. It'll be sent through an email link, and it's Luma training. So what you do is it's a number of modules. So you have either a video or maybe an article or maybe an interactive image. So there's a number of different types of modules. And then each module has a number of questions. So usually 1 to 5, I think it's usually the most that I see. Questions referring to the module that you either watched or interacted with or read, right? So you have those, you complete each module before moving on to the next. The time frame on that just depends on the individual. It does take a couple of hours or a few hours definitely to finish, but again, it depends on the individual and how quickly you can get through. And if you are focusing on it, right? If you're trying to multitask, then obviously it's going to take you longer. We also have you do a physical and your drug test before coming to orientation. We'll make those arrangements for you. What we normally do is we'll find out, okay, so where are you going to be and what's going to be convenient, because if you're not home, we'll need to make those arrangements for you where you're at. So we will set up a physical and the drug test. Now, we do both the hair follicle and the urinalysis for the drug and alcohol testing. As far as the physical, if your physical is good for another 6+ months, there's a good chance that we can use that. We'll just need a long form. So you'll just need to provide us with a long form in order to sign off on it, basically. Time and road time. Okay, good. So then I covered the question right out of the gate. It's 2 to 3 weeks with a trainer. But again, Ty, the availability for training is very minimal. We don't offer a lot of training currently. So if you're interested, it'd be refrigerated. If you're interested, call us at 877-433-2537, and then make sure with the recruiters that it is in fact available and how long out it would be to wait. I don't currently have the time frame in front of me to know if it's a 3-week wait, 4-week, etc. But yeah, you are paid while you're on the road. It's $100 a day while you're training, and usually 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, back to the orientation process. Before you even come, once you're approved for orientation, that's when we'll set you up for the drug tests and the physicals, and then we take care of your transportation here as well, which is usually either a flight or a rental car. Most of the time it's a rental car. We pay for the gas as well. And then, of course, your hotel and your meals while you're in Fort Dodge. I should mention as well, we do have a repayment agreement that you'd be signing off on, and that's recognizing what expenses, what the cost was to bring you aboard. That's including rental or transportation, the hotel and your meals, your physical and drug tests. Those are all calculated within the repayment agreement. And what that is just recognizing, hey, this is what Decker has invested in you. If you were to leave us within the first 6 months, if you decided to leave us within the first 6 months, you'd be responsible for a portion of that. Every month we knock $100 off, And, come 6 months, if there's still a balance on that, it's null and void. We just wipe it clean. So that way it's just making sure that you're doing your due diligence. We offer these Q&As, but it's making sure you're doing your due diligence, your homework, and educating yourself on the company, as well as obviously us doing ours and making sure that you qualify. We'll do all of that ahead of time to make sure that you in fact do qualify for it. So yeah, so at 6 months, like I said, null and void. But that is why when we're asking you, okay, transportation wise, do you want a flight or do you want a rental car? We're going to be giving you the prices so that you know how much they are. Because if it's $1,000 to fly you and only $250 or something to drive, plus of course gas, then we're running that past you and being like, okay, what do you want to do? I would suggest this, that type of thing. Yeah. And the hotel rooms are single, so we don't room you up with anybody when you come in for the hotel or when you come in for orientation. And then of course for meals, we'll either bring them in during orientation or we'll take you out for lunch. And then usually get a gift card for the evening. So the gift card is for certain locations near the hotel that are convenient enough for you to grab something to eat. Enough food, it covers the cost, of course. So you're not getting birds feed. Little meals. I like to eat, so yeah, and then orientation, like I said, it's 3 days. When you do arrive in orientation, it's usually Sunday night. This week being the exception, of course, because of the holiday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is usually orientation, and then dispatched out either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And when you go through orientation, you'll meet a lot of different individuals, different departments. You'll go through the fuel compliance and the fuel routing with Janelle. She'll go through the details. You'll go through communications. Usually Tammy will be able to stop in and introduce herself and kind of give you an idea of what we are all about. You'll, of course, have the training department there, the orientation department, doing the training and the hands-on with your ELD, and they'll have a manual for you to refer back to for troubleshooting, for just common questions. You'll meet with your recruiter and your driver leader. When we say driver leader, often you will probably refer to them as your driver manager or your fleet manager. But we can have different expectations for our driver leader than we did for our driver manager and our fleet manager. We hold them more accountable on your miles and your revenue on your truck and everything like that. So we're driver leader. So if we refer to them, that's what I mean. You'll also meet with the safety department and the benefits. Benefits start after 60 days. So I'll come back around to that because I do want to inform you too that the maintenance department will come in. They'll meet with you. They'll walk through the truck with you when you get assigned the truck. Kind of go through a checklist to make sure that everything is in order and that you know how to run that. How do you run the microwave? I know that sounds silly, but going through the basics to make sure that you've got it. How do you run the APU? What happens if you're having troubles with the APU? How do you get it to, what are some troubleshooting tips that we've got? They will cover all of that. And in the manual, it has some cheat sheets for you and videos, cheat videos as well. Not cheat videos, but tip videos. Benefits. There we go. I kind of bounced over there. So back to benefits. Those actually start after 60 days. So on your 61st day of employment, you'll get your benefits, which are medical, dental, vision, prescription. We have the Regenix program, which is something that we highlighted this week in our newsletter. Regenix is really an alternative to orthopedic surgery. So think if you have issues with your spine or your knee or your ankle, wrist, shoulder, elbow, something like that, joint, then Regenix might be an option. I think 70% of the time it's an alternative to orthopedic surgery. So check that out if you're interested in or know you've got something going on. Let's see, where else with the benefits? Benefits, like I said, start after 60 days. We have a 401k with a 25% match. We'll get some more details out to you on that. And that's through Principal Financial. We also have the dental and the vision, like I mentioned, also after 60 days. We have a company paid life insurance, paid vacation. Oh, paid vacation. You get your first 5 days of PTO after your first 6 months here. You'll get another week when you hit your 1 year anniversary. And then you'll get them annually, of course, on your anniversary. At your 3 year anniversary, it'll go from 1 week to 2 weeks. And then on your 7th year anniversary, it goes from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So again, you'll get those rewarded to you annually. And they're based off of what you made the previous year. So on your 1 year anniversary, it'll be calculated based off of your earnings for the previous year. And your rate of pay per mile, that's going to be based on your experience level. I didn't even talk about rate of pay, so let's talk about that. We have safety nets or minimum pays in most different divisions. However, your rate of pay is going to be based on your experience level. In refrigerated, the starting pay is anywhere from 55 cents a mile for someone who has 6 months experience to 65 cents a mile for someone who has over 15 years of experience. 10 cents, no matter where you're starting on that pay scale, 10 cents per mile is per diem, and that is included. So 55 cents of that 55, 10 cents is per diem, 10 cents is not taxed, 45 cents is taxed. So it gives you an idea of how that breakdown is. So it gives you a little bit more take home each week with that per diem. With refrigerated, you do get a penny raise after 90 days, and you'll get a penny raise annually as well until you hit the cap. Now, the cap right now is at 70 cents a mile. Now, with FlatNet, it's a little bit different. You do get the penny raise after 90 days and the penny raise annually until you hit the cap of 70 cents a mile as well. But the rate of pay per mile that you start at could be anywhere from 56 cents a mile for someone who has just 6 months of FlatNet experience to 70 cents a mile for someone who has 15 plus years of experience in the flatbed division. So you could be starting at our current cap. Keep that in mind. That does not cap any of your bonuses. So we have monthly bonuses, a scorecard, and safety, which actually paid out yesterday. We paid out over $65,000 today. Is that right? Over $65,000 just for the month of April. The bonuses are calculated the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. So April's bonuses were paid out yesterday. And yeah, then we've got the scorecard and the safety bonus. The scorecard is factored on 7 criteria, and that's going to be including your fuel compliance, your idle time, your miles, CSA score, preventable accidents, on-time delivery, any claims. Those are the 7 criteria for your scorecard bonus. The safety bonus is based off of our lytic system, which does include both inward and outward facing event recorders, lane departure, speed gauge. The whole works there is part of that, the lytic safety system. And again, if you get a perfect score, or not even just a perfect score, but if you earn the safety bonus, you'll get a penny per mile on all the miles that you completed for that previous month. So a near perfect score, or a perfect score, of course, gets you that. And then with the scorecard bonus, you can get up to 4 cents more per mile. That's the one based off of the 7 criteria, but that's an extra 4 cents a mile. However, if you didn't get the 1,000 points, which is the max, you can get anywhere from 1 to 3 cents more per mile as well, depending on where you're at with your points. If you lost points from miles or fuel compliance. Did I say all of the criteria? Let me try that one more time. Let me make sure I got all 7 of them. Fuel compliance, idle time, miles, preventable accidents, CSA violations, on-time delivery, and claims. Those are my 7 criteria. Just in case I missed one last time, I want to make sure I got them. Hi, Mike. How are you? I'm here. It's been maybe a couple weeks since I've seen you, right? I love having you on here anyway, so good to have you. Thanks, Mike. So yes, we've got, you know what, now that you say that, Mike, I probably won't be live on Monday. We'll be on Tuesday though, here on our YouTube channel, but not live on Monday, Memorial Day. Okay, so those are the criteria for the different bonuses, and combined that can get you an extra 5 cents a mile, but again, it's based off the miles that you completed for the previous month. My video is frozen. Great. We've had a ton of rain here in the last few days or the last week, so that affects my connection severely. We'll do some more checking on that. Thanks, Mike. More checking on that. Okay. Yeah, so, oh, you know what? That gives me a good point. Good segue into a reminder. Thank you, Mike, for that. If you guys are watching, if you are listening, I should say, to this while you're going down the road, please make sure that your screen, just like you would with any other podcasts or, any use of your phone, make sure your screen is turned away from you so that if you were ever pulled in for inspection, you are listening only and you're not interacting with the video itself. Obviously, if you're parked, totally different story, but it's a good reminder because when you're pulled in, that is something that it's over $135 fine for you and the company if you have that distraction, even if you're just listening to a podcast, right? Now, if you're using a handheld device, it gets a whole heck of a lot more expensive, like $2,700. That's just for you. So yeah, that's a good reminder. And with the CVSA roadside inspection that happened last week, I wanted to make sure everybody got that out. But it's always pertinent. So thank you for that. Good reminder. Anyways, so back to that scorecard and the safety bonus. That can get you an extra 5 cents a mile on all the miles that you completed. So on average, we paid out, I believe, on average, a little over $250 per driver just on the scorecard, and right around another 100 or so on the safety bonus as of yesterday. So yeah, extra bonuses. And yes, we do have sign-on bonuses available for experienced drivers, a minimum of 2 years of experience, and in most cases, not only the 2 years of experience, but also no more than 3 jobs within the last 18 months in order to qualify for that sign-on bonus. That's for the refrigerated side. Flatbed side is a little bit different. In our more Midwest flatbed, we have an $8,000 sign-on versus the $4,000 that we have for the over-the-road refrigerated. We also have a $5,000 for refrigerated as well. But it all depends on where you live. So that's why I'm like, hey, let me know where you're at. I'll give you details on, what the sign-on bonus is, what the rate of pay, what the running lanes, all of that good stuff based in your area. But if you want to talk to a recruiter, they will give you the details as well. And that's, again, 877-433-2537 to give you the details directly based off of your experience level and your location. Where was I going with that? So the sign-on bonus for the refrigerated, for the $4,000 refrigerated sign-on bonus, it pays at 6 months. You'll get $1,000 at 6 months. There we go. You'll get another $1,000 on your 9-month anniversary, and on your 1-year anniversary at 12 months there, you'll get the remaining $2,000 for the sign-on bonus. Now, if you are part of the $5,000 sign-on bonus, the $5,000 pays $1,500 at 6 months, $1,500 at 9 months, and the remaining $2,000 on your 1-year anniversary. In the flatbed division, I mentioned that there's an $8,000 sign-on bonus in one of our Midwest flatbed positions. And yes, now we do have the $4,000 and $5,000 as well in different areas, which of course is the same payout as the refrigerated. But the one position that we have for the $8,000 sign-on bonus is our Midwest flatbed. It is home weekly. It does have a minimum pay of $14.50 per week. Of course, if your rate of pay per mile, which is based on your experience level, and the number of miles that you run exceed the $14.50, you're going to get the better of the two. That's how that's designed, is to get you the better of the two in both. Anyways, the sign-on bonus for that one is $8,000. You get $2,000 on your 6-month anniversary, $2,000 on your 9-month anniversary, and the remaining $4,000 on your 12-month or your 1-year anniversary. Mike says, do you have to speak English to drive for Decker? Yes, one of the requirements for driving for Decker and with the U.S. driver's license at this point is you must be able to read, write, and speak English. So all of the above, with the road signs and everything, talking to shippers, receivers, and all of it, and driver leaders, etc. Yes. As I was tripping over my words, Mike, I seriously, when I first glanced at your question, I thought you were asking if I know how to speak English. And I was like, well, that's a fair question. Depends on how fast I